number one hip hop show around, period, point blank. I'm one of your hosts, CEO Hayes. That's my boy, Baylor over there. Baylor the Great. What's going on, fam?
You out of pocket.
We are going to get into that album and talk about that very heavily. Let's get into our topics. First topic up for today, though, is the New York Senate passed a bill that is limiting the use of rap lyrics in trials. Now, this is pretty big considering how rap lyrics have been used against rappers that are on trial a lot recently, like a lot. Baylor, what do you think this? Do you think this is a big win for rappers? Do you think that their lyrics should or should not be used against them? Where do you stand on the topic?
I think, well, it's definitely a win for them because now, this goes against the whole free speech thing, right? You know what I mean? You should be able to say what you want to say, especially when it comes to your quote unquote art, for you to paint a picture and things like that. At the same time, I gotta hold the rappers accountable. Stop snitching on yourself. You know what I mean? Like there's ways of telling a true story, but taking out don't put the real people in it. You know what I mean? You got to dress it up. So at the same time, I believe yes, free speech, and don't use my art against me. But at the same time, don't give them anything to work with to begin with. You know what I mean? So, it's. I'll say this: it's a win for the cats who have passion for hip hop and want to paint a picture of their reality. But I can't sit up here and say that I'm completely for it when it's cats out here doing dumb shit and then rapping about it. You know what I'm saying? Because at the same time, I can sit up here and say, because I know we fight for hip hop and we know hip hop is a part of our culture, and hip hop is one of those things where we express our feelings, our past, our experiences and stuff like that. But if something was to happen to my family members and you was the one that was a part of it, and now you rapping about it, I might feel a certain way.
That's fair. That's true. Like it's a catch-22, right? Because art should be art, right? And art should, because it's not always, and we know a lot of these niggas ain't really telling the truth in their rhymes nonetheless. But if you are using actual events in your, you got to just be smarter about it. To Baylor's point, like you can't sit there and be using real names, using real events, and then be surprised when the cops get an actual case for those real events that they then hold you accountable for what you talked about. Because listen, you already then gave them the testimony whether you think you did or didn't.
Yeah. So. One of the coldest lines of all time, it wasn't that long ago, was about a week ago. You know what I mean? And they used that.
Yeah, definitely. About a week ago. But all right, man. This is crazy. But I think that it is good that it limits, right? It doesn't stop it completely, because listen, if they said it could not be used at all, that would change probably my opinion on it. But the fact that they are now saying, hey, we're limiting, we're putting restrictions on how it can be used against you. Now it's just up for y'all to be smarter about what y'all rap about. That's it. Period. Point blank.
Well, that's the thing. How are they going to structure that? How can they present it? How can they use it against you? What ways are they going to use it against you?
That's a good point. So it says that prosecutors will now have to go to extreme circumstances to prove that artists' lyrics are literal rather than figuratively or fictional. So it seems like that even they're going to have somebody who corroborates the story. Probably in the way that I would read that, again, I'm not a lawyer, y'all, is that they would have to have an independent witness who then can be who testifies and can be verified that whatever lyric that they're trying to use was an actual event. So meaning, for example, if I rapped about shooting, if I rapped about shooting O-Dog, they would have, and then they interrogated you, and you're like, yeah, I was there. I saw him shoot O-Dog. I will testify to the fact that no, this lyric actually happened, and I'm a witness to it. At that point, they can then introduce it.
Well, but at the same time, that means they would have to look at me going to my CSI. They would have to prove that I was actually there, though.
That's true as well.
But
no, not necessarily, because if you're agreeing to testify, then you would have to sign that your testimony is true. Now, if they try to force you to testify, then they would have to know that you were there also. They would have to have then either a videotape or something else to prove that you were there.
Well, if it's all caught under the RICO, somebody tell it. Somebody tell it.
Yeah, for sure. Marquis just said he'll be on here soon, so we'll get the Red Wine Connoisseur in the building. Next up, Snoop Dogg has announced a new album, A Death Row Summer. He dropped the first single. You always say something, bro, that I have to use this before I even send it over to you. What you gonna be rapping about? And unfortunately, I love Snoop. What Snoop has meant to hip hop culture, what he was, he's dropped some amazing music for decades. But Snoop's last couple albums, bro, really, Snoop ain't got shit to rap about anymore. Like, go and do your shows with Martha Stewart, bro. You wrote a whole cookbook that Martha Stewart helped you do. Like, at this point, that's what you should be doing. Like, or run the label. I really don't care to hear Snoop rap anymore, bro. Is that blasphemy? What do you think?
No, that's you. That's you, because I might feel that way about certain artists, but at the same time, I might give them a lifeline because I want to hear them. I think it's me being optimistic that they can actually change. And I've said it on here before that it's not fair that I compare this man's projects to everybody, but it's like, because now I have another artist that I can compare him to. And it's that, yo, if you can make some feel good music, I'm okay with it. You know what I'm saying? We grew up in the 90s where we indulge into the criminal side and the street life of hip hop. And we get it, bro. We get it. We've been listening to majority of that stuff our whole life. Now that we've grown with the actual artists, and some of these artists are anywhere between 10, maybe 15 years older than us. So that's what I mean by, like, bro, are you still talking about the same thing? And we know for a fact that you're no longer in that life. And if you are in that lifestyle, we have no idea why you're in that lifestyle, because you practically made it. You know what I mean? But if you can go pair up with the right producer or two and give me something that just feels good, then okay. The content is another thing. You know what I mean? Because you could actually have bars and be telling me something and your production be trash. Vice versa. You know what I mean? But now I need a mixture of both. I need either, I know I need a 50-50, 60-40. I even settle for 70-30. But it got to make me feel good. I got to go back to it and be like, I could dance to this, or I could vibe to this.
I feel that. You know what? I 100%, because if he gave us an album, especially considering it's called a Summer with Death Row, a Death Row Summer. If he gave me a whole album and the vibes are like beautiful, like the track "Beautiful" with Pharrell, I rock with it. I almost don't care what you rapping about at that point. That feeling alone, if you can carry that through a whole album, all right.
I go a step further. Give me some G-Funk. Give me some Summertime in the LBC from the Dub Shack. Give me some of that.
I feel that. Who's producing this album? Does it say?
If he don't have Battle Cat on it, then what we doing?
It doesn't say. It doesn't say who's going to be the producer on the album. But listen, Battle Cat can do no wrong, in my opinion. Bro.
Come on, man.
Battle Cat can do no wrong, in my opinion, bro. Like that.
And that's just me. That's just me saying, like, look, you saying Death Row Summer? Come on, you telling us something? You know what I'm saying? Because when you say Death Row, I automatically think West Coast.
Yeah, definitely. And I know I'm not from the West Coast, never lived on the West Coast, but there's something about Battle Cat's music that I immediately feel like I should be in a summer breeze with the sun shining on my face and the top down on the car just driving.
He makes like healthy LSD music.
This is true. That is a wow. That was a perfect way to put that into words, bro. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and move into the next topic. LeBron James named his top 5 hip hop albums, bro. And I only put this on the list because I got to hear what you think about this, man. Did you get to see the list?
I didn't see the list. I didn't see the list, and I didn't want to see it on purpose because I wanted to hear it and be surprised on air. But I just want to say this before we get to it. I've never done LSD before. Okay.
First off, before we get too far, the Red Wine Connoisseur Marquis has decided to jump in the building. What's going on, Marquis?
Head first, diving in.
There you go. We are right now about to talk about LeBron's top 5 hip hop albums. And Baylor has not seen or heard this list at all, so I'm about to give it to you. The Chronic, Doggy Style, the Black Album, Life After Death, and then he said like he had to think about it and threw in "It Was Written."
That is phenomenal though.
That is quite a list.
That's quite a list. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad. I thought he would have been more heavier. I thought he would have been more heavier on the Jay-Z, but okay.
Yeah,
but I ain't gonna lie.
I don't like LeBron at all. But looking at that list, it was like that's a respectable list for him. That's not the list that I would have, but it's a respectable list.
I respect the list. I have a hard time believing it. I feel like when you said he said I'm picking the last one, I felt like he went with like the popular ones. Because to me he comes off as a more heavier East Coast listener than anything to me.
Okay, fair enough. Marquis, what do you make of the list?
He grew up in the Midwest, though. You think so? You think he would more prone to pick the East Coast?
No, it's just my opinion.
He grew up in the Midwest, but he is very far east. He's damn near on the East Coast. He's in Cleveland. That's about as far in the Midwest as you can get and not be east.
Okay.
I will say this though. He does listen to a lot of Doughboy, and Doughboy is from his somewhat from his area, but he makes a lot of influence West Coast music. Like Doughboy music sounds like a West Coast. Like he sounds like a West Coast artist. So I'll give him that because LeBron is like his number one supporter.
I will say that I do respect. Let's take a look at this list though. Like everybody has a top 5 or classic, or they see as top 5 hip hoppers of all time. And you can't go wrong with it. He also grew up in the era where he probably wasn't Illmatic. Reasonable Doubt. Again, if you consider Jay-Z's Black Album as one of the top 5 out of all of his albums, that says a lot there. And It Was Written. Again, you know what I mean? Like those are in Life After Death over Biggie's first album. That tells you where he grew up, what era he grew up in. So I can't knock that.
Wait, I only got Braun by a couple of years though. Maybe 1 or 2.
But do you think he didn't grow up with him? Dissect Illmatic, I guess. Depending on where he got
it, I wouldn't say that's necessarily true, bro. Because LeBron's older than me, and I dissected Illmatic.
But you're also world traveled. So in the Midwest, was hip hop like again when we heard Nas, we heard of Nas before Nas got here. Same thing with Big. When he grew up, this was kind of like it was almost mainstream. It was MTV, right? MTV had it. So I think that was kind of what he was going to consume because it was always put in his face. This is Nas with a pink suit on. You see what I'm saying? Like that was that era where MTV kind of mainstreamed hip hop. So I can see why the Biggie's first album wasn't there yet. Why Jay Reasonable Doubt wasn't there, or even the Blueprint. Well, I'm surprised Blueprint isn't there, but
I was about to say now. Yeah.
What?
It's all, but we also got to realize that people just have a different taste. You know what I mean? That's basically what it comes down to. Because, like I said, I've only gotten Brian by like maybe a year or 2. So we both 80s babies, and we born in the same month too. So
I will reference something you said though, Baylor. Yeah, LeBron does seem like almost a people pleaser. More in line
very
of,
much so.
I have to give you what you want to hear because I have to do this. And I think he's been PR trained where he's conditioned to give you the answers that will be politically correct. So I do agree with that. Yeah. But again, these probably were the albums when he grew up. Those are the ones you mentioned. And I'm surprised Doggy Style didn't make it there because Doggy Style was 93, right?
He did say Doggy Style.
That's what I'm saying. I'm surprised he said Doggy Style because that was 93.
But Doggy Style is one of the most iconic albums of all time. And the only reason, and the reason why I say that is because I hear a lot more East Coast people speak highly of that album than anything. You know what I mean? So that to me, that's easy. The Chronic, that's easy.
Okay. So would you put that he put that over All Eyes on Me, which is interesting.
I don't know if he ranked it or not. Did he rank it?
He did, yeah. I mean, he just threw out the list. I don't think that his ranking was necessarily.
All Eyes on Me isn't on here.
I don't think he got does he have a Pac album on there?
No.
No.
Yeah,
You
Pac
see what I'm
wasn't-
saying?
Yeah, well, I mean, Pac is different, man.
No, I'm not, and I'm not going to dismiss it. Again, everyone's top 5 albums they would consider classic is always going to be different. Like no matter how you look at it, you can pull, especially if you didn't hear all of the hip hop, but for you the top 5 of all time, I can understand that. But I think he did give us a mainstream perspective, like Baylor, like you said.
Mhm.
But yeah, I can't knock it.
You play it safe. Like you play it safe. You praise the West Coast with one of the 2 top West Coast albums of all time. You pay homage to New York with Big and Nas. What was the other one?
Chronic
Black
Doggy
Album.
Style, Black Album, Life After Death,
Yeah,
and
then you pay homage to Jay with the Black Album, which a lot of people feel like is at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to his catalog.
Boom, 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 boom. Sorry.
Sorry.
You think Jay's at the bottom of the catalog? You think
No, not me. Not me.
Okay.
No, not me personally. It's just that some Jay, and I haven't talked to every Jay fan in the world, but a lot of Jay fans that I've talked to got the Black Album ranked lower than all the rest of his projects. That's not to say, hey, for all you people that's out there, before y'all come for me, the bottom of the barrel for Jay is at the top of the barrel for a lot of you niggas. Okay, so chill out.
I got to hear this one.
No, I'm just saying, like that. Just because a lot of people might rank that album low, doesn't mean that's a bad album. That means all the rest of the albums above it is just greater.
So I will give you all credit. I do have more of an appreciation for the Black Album than I did before. I still have it in the middle though, somewhere around the middle.
See, of Jay's catalog.
Yeah,
that's fair. That's where it should sit.
Yeah, I'm cool with
that's
that.
not a hot take. Like the Black Album, if it wasn't for Jay announcing it as his last album, the Black Album I don't even think would be considered. Like it's the people that do consider like the whole story, the air, the last tour, everything around that album helped push that album to a little bit more than just the music. But just basing off the music, it's definitely in the middle of the pack of Jay's.
Thank you. What Hayes just said, if that wasn't considered at the time the last album, then that's basically what a lot of people had a problem with.
And that's what people, I think they go, because even me, when I talk about the Black Album, I go back to where I was at that time. And I got to see Jay on tour when it was like a couple of months before the Black Album was supposed to come out, when they just released the image and all the different producers that were on every song, the fact that it was a different producer for every song. And I just, that whole thing, that whole like 6 months build up to the Black Album, my mind goes back to that every time the Black Album comes up. And I think a lot of people, they may not realize that that's what they do, but I definitely think that's a big part of it. It's like so ingrained in us that we then hype up the album a little bit. And that's fine. There's absolutely times in which that happens in a lot of different media, where it's film, whatever it is. A lot of times it's about, we say this before, we've all said this. It's not necessarily what you drop all the time. It's when you drop it as well. And the energy that they put around that album made it be something that you had to pay attention to, and you felt it. And then with Encore being on that album, things like that. But like really, when you look at the Black Album, to me, it's probably 5 takeaway tracks from that album.
Hey man, Encore. Let me tell you something about Encore. At one point that was gonna be my funeral song. That motherfucker right there, that get me juiced.
I got a question for you both.
Go ahead.
Black Album versus Gray Album.
Oh, Gray Album all day long. That's not even a question for me. That's not even like that doesn't even scratch the surface of the Gray Album.
Danger Mouse, man.
I'm telling you.
Oh my God.
Listen.
That was magnificent. That Gray Album made me appreciate that album so much more. The way that he incorporated the Beatles' White Album was amazing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Gray Album is a phenomenal listen. It's just like, have you guys gotten to listen to? It wasn't Danger Mouse. It was a different DJ that did it, but they did Good Kid, Mad City and the original Chronic.
Oh,
I didn't hear that.
Listen, I'll have to find it and send it to you, Marquis, because I'm telling you, that was that. And you know how I feel about Kendrick with that. What they did with that,
yeah, okay,
amazing.
Okay.
But all right, let's get off of that. Let's get into the main event for this episode. This is what people's waiting for: Kendrick Lamar, Mr. Morale, and the Big Steppers.
I gotta be honest with you. I feel like I'm betraying right now.
You're betraying who?
Them
Eminem?
because no what R
Oh,
M.
Mary. Sorry.
But you know what? I'll do this because I know she'll add her perspective in.
Mm-hmm.
But go for it.
Go. Right, I'm not going first. You know, I never go first on Kendrick topics because I'm not going first on Kendrick topics. Go ahead, Baylor.
I probably watched the N95 video more than I listened to it in the car.
Okay.
Because the N95 video was dope too. So I from Friday all the way up until today, I told you guys earlier, off the record, that I probably listened to that about 5 or 6 times, the whole album. Then I took the tracks that I like the most and played those out, which is Die Hard, Savior, N95, like I said, the Auntie track, Rich Spirit. Oh, Rich Spirit come on, man. And then I paid attention to a lot of the critiquing and things like that. And I say, you know what? I'm no longer in the space to defend anybody, because now I realize how different people are. For you to sit up there and type out, yo, he ain't got no bangers, I can't play this anywhere, I don't understand what he's talking about, but then in the same breath you saying, I listen to Lil Baby and I listen to Future. When you say that, then I understand where you at in life. I completely understand. So I can't even be mad at it.
Damn, Baylor with the.
No, I listened to this album and I said, yo, this nigga took whatever Jay did on 444 and King Disease 2, and he put it together and then said, all right, y'all did y'all thing. Here's my problem. The nigga basically said, y'all want me to be the savior, I want me to save this planet. Nigga, I gotta save my family.
Myself and listen, bro. This album is a man talking about pain on a level that I don't think people are ready to receive. And the fact that it's done musically, I don't think that people really are realizing the shit that Kendrick talked about on this album.
Bro, shout out to Be Honest, No Nonsense Show. I kept asking him for the past couple of days, have you listened to it? He said, I don't want to listen to it yet because I got too much stuff going on, and it would be a disservice to listen to something that so many people are critiquing right now. But he said, I keep watching the Hard 5 video with the volume off, and he said, I just keep watching it. And he said, even when I do listen to it with the volume up, I don't even pay attention to what he's saying. I'm just looking at the visuals or whatever. I said, man, watch when you listen to the album. And you know what? It might not be for the young. It's supposed to be for them because it's medicine. And basically, he just told y'all his life and why he's not y'all savior.
What Kendrick did on this album can be, it's a masterpiece. And I think the production, beautiful. The voice, I keep going back to the voice changes because Kendrick used different voice inflections like an instrument on this album in a way it's not done at this level anymore. He changed his voice on certain tracks mid-track to convey different types of pain that he was talking about at that moment. And for anyone who actually listens to what he's talking about, you felt it and you understood why he changed his voice. This is a modern day masterpiece. This is an album that needs to be discussed in college lectures 10, 20 years from now, because what Kendrick did with this album is something that you get once every 20 years.
And Hayes, I'm sorry to cut you off, but pause. I'm still in you niggas' heads talking about I can't, it's hard for me to understand because of the way he changes his voice and the way his voice sounds. But you niggas was listening to Lil Wayne during the drought. Okay? All these niggas that y'all praise nowadays talking about their voice as an instrument. Oh, but when K-Dot started talking about some real shit, I don't understand what he's talking about. I got you. Because you was the same niggas who either wasn't born yet or the same niggas who didn't take time to dissect what Wu-Tang was talking about. So which one is it gonna be?
That's what, and I agree with you. And it's because listen, somebody who avoids processing their own pain isn't going to be able to take in the message of this album. Somebody who ain't been through shit is not going to be able to take to process the message in this album. This is art. This is art. This isn't just music. This is art. Period. Marquis, you've been too quiet, man. Go ahead.
Please tell me you listen to the Auntie track. And listen to the production, dog. I played that song at least 15 times in a row just for the production alone. Because it helped paint the picture of what he was talking about. And did you realize that he addressed her as a him and a her at the same time? He said he put me up on game. She cut my hair. Man, come on, man. That shit probably don't mean nothing to you youngsters.
All right, Marquis, man, you got to say something, brother.
No, absolutely. I know you want to take this last, and I won't take away from anything you guys said. Number one, this isn't a hip hop album. No matter how you look at it, this is not a hip hop album. If you're looking for a banger, if you're looking for something, he just happened to be rapping because he's singing too. Production wise and everything, this is not a hip hop album. Like you said, this is a work of art. This is music. This is pain. I disagree slightly, Baylor. I think this album wasn't for us. This album was for him.
Yeah.
I think this was one of those things it led up to him being personal. And I think we had this conversation before about what his next album would be like. The last one was a little bit more reflection, a little bit more religious, a little bit more just, coming of who he is, or just even accepted who he is. But this album was like stripped away human being, black trauma. And like you said, this is one of the things, these are the things that we don't want to deal with. And I think that this album basically shows you if we actually understand and identify our pain, we can be more. And we're not willing to go to therapy. We're going to continue to deal with these things and just push them aside and just fuck it. We know our black women were raped. We know they were taken advantage of. Most women actually, if you really want to go there. And how we had to deal with it. Like most of us laughed it off, or auntie, uncle, whatever the fuck. We just kind of disregarded it, made jokes about it, cracked on it, and then moved on. But we still never really dealt with it, understood it, or had it explained to us, or it made sure that it was or understand that it's acceptable to be transgender, to be gay, to be, you know what I mean? We never dealt with shit like this. The like Malcolm and Marie, "We Cry Together" is a beautiful song, but I can only listen to it once. I can only listen to it once. I will never listen to that song again because I don't need it. I love it. I absolutely. That was the first time I actually heard someone act. If you understand what I'm saying, like she acted. She was perfect. She was flawless. But I heard her. I felt it. I visualized it. It was amazing. It was flawless. It's therapy all over. The honesty of this album. We aren't black people, or most people aren't. The reason they have writer's block, or the reason they can't write or rap about anything, because they're not honest. They always talk about who they want to be, who they strive to be, or this image of who they think they are. Kendrick stepped back and said, "No, this is my fucking life. Here's my pain. Here's what built Kendrick." So we rarely hear honesty like that. And again, I'll tell you my top tracks again. N95, fucking banger, like straight up banger. If you want to just stop
second verse on N95.
Hey, I think y'all niggas is being too nice. No, y'all favorite rappers out there, you know why these niggas drop every year or twice a year? Is because them niggas don't get writer's block. You want to know why they don't get writer's block? Because they not writing their own fucking shit.
They write the same shit, or they write about the same shit, which is my problem with Benny the Butcher. I keep telling you, if he keeps dropping albums about the same shit, it's gonna be watered down. We understand. It's just, I don't know. Count Me Out happens to be my favorite though. If you dissect Count Me Out, and I guess it's more of a reflection of who I perceive who I am personally, but that's just next level. Mr. Morale, Mirror, Savior's cool, but yeah, the album is flawless. Honestly, he's pulled off a 4-peat, and I know we want to say 5-peat. Everybody didn't get the first album. Like that's just, let's be real. Like the first album was more independent than anything else. But Good Kid, Mad City started the beginning of a flawless career. This is the first 4.
You still have to count. Whether people got it or not, you still got to count Section 80 in it.
I would say this. I would say this: the first 4 albums are the 4 albums are classic, mainstream and underground. That's what I'll say. You get what I'm saying?
I feel you.
That's
feel you
that's
with
what I'm
that.
going with that. I think no one's ever done what he's done, even his untitled project and the Black Panther soundtrack what he've curated. We've never heard a bad Kendrick thing. We've never heard anything Kendrick did that was mediocre, bad, or whatever. Like when you go on somebody's song and just take it over, and now they can't even release it because you did your verse is better than his. And now you can't clear the sample. That tells you the fuck who we're dealing with right now.
Yeah.
So he's and I know we had this conversation about who the top 10 of all time and everything. He's Donald Glover for me. They're on another level right now.
Oh, absolutely. And on this week's Wake and Soul episode, I actually talked about how Donald Glover and Kendrick Lamar are completely what they're doing in their lanes is changing art. Like, but this album, I have my perfect album list. I will say 6 months from now, this is probably going to be added to my perfect album list. I actually made an update to my perfect album list as well.
Really?
The score just made it onto my perfect album list.
Really?
This is why you have to go back and listen to music when you're in different places in your life. Because I think when I tried to dissect the score before, maybe mentally I wasn't at a place to take in everything that they did with that album. But now, like that album's damn near flawless to me.
Yeah.
That's it. Go ahead, Bill. Because I got.
No, I was about to say that's the key. Like when you go back to it, is where you at in your life. Are we gonna talk about the elephant in the room? How damn near the host of the album was Kodak.
That was
crazy, that's interesting.
Right?
That's a very
especially as problematic as Kodak is, for him to be the host of an album like this.
It led me to believe that they had a talk before they went through with this. And the reason why I say that is because the relationship between K-Dot and Nip was very thick. Okay. And they had to have a talk in order for him to be on a project like this.
But his case, though, like Kodak got a case, which is curious for me. Why Kendrick has him on this album?
Well, I can also say that Kendrick probably don't care what everybody thinks.
I know the cancer culture. I know it's not what people think, but I mean, if you're talking about Black trauma, I mean Kodak Black.
Maybe that was his way of saying, "Hey, maybe that was his way of teaching Kodak some things."
I mean, he just gave him a signed copy of the album. Say, listen.
But I mean, especially on an album where you have Auntie Diaries that's been getting praise from, and you know what's funny? I saw so many initial things that people, you could tell that they didn't actually listen to the song because they kept talking about him using the F word in it.
Yeah,
and I was like, did you understand the context? And like, go back and listen to the context and the reason why he was saying it. And then I started slowly seeing transgender people and other activists praise Kendrick for the song, and I was like,
because they actually listened to it. They actually listened to it.
People were reacting to it without listening to it at all. It's like, this is why y'all. This is why the fake activists. This is why the fucking armchair social activists, like all that bullshit, the fake woke ass crowd. I'm glad that they got exposed with this album, because listen, how the fuck are you gonna try to educate somebody and you ain't even listen all the way to the fuck of what you about to try to dissect? Literally, people made themselves look like idiots, focusing on him using the word faggot and not even realizing the context and the reason in which he said it. Like, come on, man.
They don't remember when he invited that white girl up on stage and she said the word nigga. And they don't. So and clearly they didn't hear the end of that song because he addresses that.
That's crazy, man. Go ahead, Marquis.
No,
I thought you were about to say something. I cut you off.
That was perfect. That was perfect.
Like, it was just like, it was my, and this is exactly what my issue is. And I try my best not to do ageism. I try my best not to talk shit. But this is why these young motherfuckers they're so busy having to say something that they don't realize you ain't got shit. You don't actually have anything to say, because you don't pay attention to the exact shit you're trying to critique. If you're going to critique something, listen to it, take it in, dissect it, process it. Everybody's so quick to go to Twitter with their motherfucking Twitter fingers when they need to sit down, shut the fuck up, and listen. You got two ears and one motherfucking mouth, and you talking way more than you listen to anything.
I got two things to say, and thank you, Hayes, for that, because that was passionate, and I feel your pain right now. I just got 2 questions. How do we feel about Jack Harlow's album now?
Fuck Jack Harlow's album.
Okay, that's 1. 2, and where do you rank this
On
amongst
Kendrick's
Kendrick projects?
discography?
You gotta give me some time on that one.
Yeah. Well, keep in mind too, like To Pimp a Butterfly has gotten better and better over time. So
Yes.
I don't feel comfortable comparing that right now. But what I will say is that I have in my life, in an album that was released in my lifetime as an adult, I have never left from listening to an album feeling the way that I felt about this one.
I promise you, I wanted to tell y'all, like, yo, I don't think I've ever listened to an album back to back so many times in my life. But that should tell you how many times I listened to it. But then I had to go back and realize that I did listen to DMX in the late 90s. So no, like this album. Remember I told you, Marquise, that when I listened to KD2 Rare, when the beat changed, and then Composure is my favorite track on there, right? So Rare is N95 to me, and Composure is Die Hard to me. The way Die Hard sounds, like that song sounds and feels so good. It does. I play that shit loud as hell.
I can give you 2 things. This has probably taken my album of the decade. Sorry, Nas. KD2 was my album of the decade until this came out. And I will tell you this. We've ranked them before. All their albums, the 3, all his albums is 3. The Hood me, the Patterson, New Jersey me, Good Kid, Mad City, all day.
Okay.
The Personal me, the Understanding, this album. The Who I Strive to Be, damn. But the greatest one of all that encompasses everything is To Pimp a Butterfly. That's how I can't rank them, but I can rank them based on how I feel about them personally. They're all flawless. But that's, if I need to go back to where I want to smack a motherfucker, I'm going to Good Kid, Mad City. If I just want to just process things and just feel good, just meditate if I want to, is damn. This album is if I really want to get in touch with myself. But overall, for me, Pimp a Butterfly is just on another level that has never been done before. That's how I look at it.
This album made me go make that track list that I sent to y'all. And on that track list, it has If These Walls Can Talk and Complexion on it.
I would say this. To Marquis' point, he says this is not a hip hop album, and it's not. This is poetry.
Yeah.
I would think I want an acapella version of this album.
Wow. I do want that. Want that.
At that point, it's like going to a spoken word event at that point.
Wow. I want the acapella version. I do really want that. I think honestly you can probably put guitars behind it too. There's nothing you can't do with this album to bring this to life.
Yeah.
Like there can be multiple versions of this album. Someone like Danger Mouse should step in the arena and do something with this.
Ooh.
There's multiple things that can be done with this album. Sonically, and sometimes he has this annoying voice, and like the voice he does, he didn't have that one particular voice. It wasn't there. I appreciated that.
He does have that. I know exactly when you say he has an annoying voice, I know exactly what you're talking about. Because yeah, Kendrick does have that annoying voice that he can go to, but
is it the voice he did on Lil Wayne's album?
Yes.
Mona Lisa?
Yes.
Yeah. You talking about when he was crying?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. But he got 30 of them though.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, come on.
Only he can pull them off though.
Yeah, come on.
Does this we don't see this, but does it put him in the top 10?
Oh, he was in the top 10 already to me.
Okay,
That's why I say
top 10 all time.
Is he in the top 5 then?
He been all right. Look, I'm gonna go there. I don't care if niggas want to see me. I gotta lose weight anyway, so we could box. By the end of our, he gonna be the best ever.
Whew.
And I'm gonna tell you why. It's not recency, it's age. Because look where Nas is at right now. But look how long it took him to get here.
No, he was there already. I can't say that. I think remember his first 5 albums, Nas was already there. I'll say this, and I think this point was made last week. there will no longer be such a thing.
I don't
There's,
really,
there's
I
no
don't
longer
really
such a
think,
thing anymore.
I don't really think it was ever a thing to begin with, because look at the gods that have come through, and most of them wasn't here long enough to solidify a position. So when I say the best ever, that's just saying that he's up there with the rest of them, but he's just going to hold that spot for a certain time period.
Yeah, if he's gonna hold that spot, he's gonna hold that spot forever, because there's no such thing as anybody gonna come after this to do anything great. Like, after this tidal wave of whatever just washed everything else away, because everything we're consuming now is just shit. It's just it's Jack Harlow.
Let me ask you a question. And this is something that this actually came up in the barbershop this weekend when I was in the barbershop. We were talking about the Kendrick album. And keep in mind, my barber's my pastor, but he loves hip hop music. And somebody in the barbershop asked if a Black Hippie album came out, would that change hip hop?
I don't know now.
You don't know now? You think that time has passed for Black
That time
Hippie?
has passed, unfortunately.
Okay.
I would want it to, but even if it did come out when it was supposed to, I still don't think it would have changed.
Okay.
I think personally, I think there's a lot more simple-minded people in this world than us.
This is true. This is true.
Again, remember they said they can't understand what he's saying, and sometimes there's no bangers. What bangers are you looking for?
Okay.
That's the problem. Why are you looking for bangers? Why can't we listen to music? Or
No, I just want to hear one of the bangers.
I know, I agree. I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying we were looking for the wrong things.
From the wrong artist.
Word, to quote the young people, worried about the wrong shit.
Yeah.
But all right. Listen, I know that took up a lot of time. A lot of the time. I don't know if I feel comfortable reviewing Atlanta without Mary. Hell, almost
No.
So are you guys comfortable ending the show there?
Well, I got something for Black People Love Rock too.
Okay, go ahead.
Actually, yeah, I got 3 artists too.
All right.
Good. Oh, wait, you mean for the playlist?
No,
for his topic. Yeah.
All right. So 2 things. Number 1, Beth Gibbons, who's on Kendrick's album, that's on Mother I Sober.
Mm-hmm.
She's actually the lead singer of a band called Portishead. Portishead, if you listen to it, has been sampled in hip hop like you wouldn't believe. And that also evolved into trip hop. She's from England. The band is really morbid, really just somber. I'll send you guys some tracks, but check out Portishead. I promise you're going to recognize a lot of the beats.
Are you trying to say are you saying that Kendrick did his homework?
Kendrick added the right person to sing this somber song from Mother I Sober.
Well, no, the point is, for him to actually pick that person, he would have to actually know something about that.
No,
person,
I promise you,
right?
he knows her. I like it. Kendrick is cultured. Kendrick knows music. Like he knows.
I'm just saying because somebody didn't know who Brandy was. So I was just saying.
Oh shit! I had to pause there for a second because I want people to recognize what you just said. But okay.
Yeah, because
people
niggas love sliced white bread.
Word. I'm gonna send you guys Portishead, some playlists, some songs on Portishead. Number 2, an album came out this week. It's called from a band called The Smile, and The Smile is Radiohead. It's more the main group of Radiohead, and he adopted the jazz drummer. I didn't think it was gonna be as great as it was. It sounds like Radiohead, but with a jazz influence and a little bit more up tempo. So if you are looking for a great album to play in the background, check out The Smile. It's pretty fucking classic.
All right. Baylor?
That's it for me.
Man, Kendrick was on the roof doing burpees. All right, so you know what it is. I got 3 artists. You tell me what their best song is that you would introduce to somebody. First one, EPMD. You got to chill.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with You Got to Chill.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with You Got to Chill.
It has to be, right?
Okay. Yeah. Locks.
Oh, nigga. Oh.
Wild Out for me.
Because 24 Hours wasn't theirs, right? No,
that wasn't theirs. That was a Mace track, right?
Yeah, that was Mace track.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I said Wild Out.
See, the funny thing is that a lot of the songs that make me think about the Locks are actually Jadakiss songs. Like, because I almost said We Gonna Make It, I just like that
Yeah.
just feels like, and I think it's because of the video. That's a lock song to me, even though they're not all on it. Damn.
And
I think I gotta
all-
go with
and
you too. I think it gotta be Wild Out.
It's got to be because it
Money,
all.
power, respect.
Oh, definitely. Money, Power,
Oh,
Definitely.
okay.
Shout out
Eat
to Marquis
alive.
for coming through in the clutch that one.
And last one, since Mary not here, I'm not gonna do 4. But last one, curveball, Whitney Houston.
I
I say you give me good love.
can't.
Ooh. To me, and this is just because this is what I grew up with on Whitney. I want to dance with somebody literally is on replay.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I knew he's gonna go there.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Somebody. Run to you.
Ooh, yeah,
I
Okay.
wanna run to you.
yeah.
One moment in time. Oh my God. You know what?
Bro, stop going down the rabbit hole.
Yo,
Like, don't
you
even do it
you
to
you ever
yourself.
see that video with her and Bobby in the store? And
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
for sure.
you, like these glasses on me.
Yeah,
They work. They work for me.
that shit,
Yo,
man.
you know what's crazy though? As crazy as they were in love.
They
No matter
were.
the shit with that beautiful
They were.
chaos, man.
They
Anyway,
were.
what do I know?
Love it. Yeah,
I'm
crazy.
just a shy town nigga with a Nas flow.
All right, that is it. That is another episode of the Breaks Radio. Baylor, Marquis, any parting words? Social media, go ahead and give it to him.
Yeah, take that shit off. At Baylorism on TikTok, at Baylorism on Twitter, and that's it, man.
I got pardon words.
All
If
right.
you don't associate with said classification, then shut the fuck up. If
Oh.
you don't represent LGBTQT, shut the fuck up. That's not your fight.
Listen, this is why I
Shut the
don't talk
fuck
on
up.
women's issues. Like,
If you're
I
not a
don't.
woman, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, shut. Like, seriously.
You can't have babies and you're talking about abortion is illegal. Shut the fuck up. Mind your business. That's how I'm at right now.
If you don't have a uterus, you shouldn't talk about anything that takes a uterus to do.
Point blank.
You can't complain about Kendrick Lamar's album and its use of the word faggot if you're not LGBTQT. Shut
Yep.
the fuck up.
And Kendrick said it. And Kendrick said that Auntie said it's okay to say faggot if you let a white girl say nigga. So do what you want with that.
All right.
You can say whatever you want to say. Just make sure you accept the consequences behind your actions. And so
Take that shit off.
This has been The Breaks Radio. You can follow us collectively at The Breaks Radio. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, thebreaksradio@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave us a voicemail, the number to do so is 614-547-2039. We are the number one podcast for the culture. And listen, you motherfuckers who don't listen to music, shut the fuck. Listen, if you think Jack Harlow's album is a classic,
You out of pocket.
you don't get to talk about hip hop anymore. You worse than Drake fans. We out this bitch. Peace, y'all.